In this video, we're going to cover the 10 most obvious signs I'd use to identify a promiscuous woman in just a matter of minutes. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share one extra bonus tip that you can start using today. What's going on, fellas? My name is KJ Harlow, and on this channel, we explore all things related to men's dating, relationships, and lifestyle. I am here to help you along your journey and hopefully provide some helpful human experience along the way. So we're talking about promiscuous women, and before we get started, I want to caution you on a couple of things. It's been my experience that just because a woman seems to be promiscuous doesn't mean that you can be overly aggressive or sexual. In fact, promiscuous women might be even more sensitive to that type of thing because typically they're the ones that are being treated the worst by men who think that they can just get a quick lay. And if you're watching this video because you're considering writing off a woman because of a promiscuous past, I would urge you to reconsider. I've met a bunch of women that, had their fun phase and then turned out to be great loyal wives, good mothers, good partners that men could build with. Just because a girl had her fun phase doesn't necessarily mean you should entirely write her off. And the last thing I wanted to caution you on is that as we go through these signs, try to keep in mind that, these don't stand up individually. You're looking for a combination of signs. Just because you see one or two of these things doesn't necessarily mean you're talking or dealing with a promiscuous woman. Okay, so let's start with the signs a woman is promiscuous that you can see without even having to talk to a girl. Number one being exotic piercings. I'm talking about things like septum rings, lip rings, tongue piercings, gauged ears, and all the other crazy places that people get piercings. And look, I'm not passing judgment. This is just a simple observation that I've made over the years. Girls that get poked like to get poked. That was sexual innuendo, by the way, something we're going to cover later in this video. All right, number two sign she's a promiscuous woman is if she's a smoker. Now, there are a lot of associations that could be made with smokers, but the primary one is that smokers have a higher propensity for risky behavior. Many studies over the years have explored this idea, including a 2013 study that said, and I quote, "An experimental analysis found that smokers are more easily tempted by an immediate reward than non-smokers." And these studies suggest that risk-taking behavior associated with smoking is not just about the mere pursuit of rewards, but it reflects a tendency to yield to immediate temptation. In addition to this study, other studies have found that smokers are more likely to be involved in traffic accidents, not wear seatbelts, and wouldn't you know it, engage in risky sexual behavior. Okay, number three sign a woman is promiscuous, and something you can tell just from observation, is if she attends a lot of music festivals and raves. Think EDC, Ultra, Burning Man, and don't forget about the country festivals too, like Stagecoach, Country Jam, Country Thunder. Guys, I have been to some of these festivals, and trust me when I tell you, they are some of the most sexually charged places on the planet. Yes, people go for the music, but the music is kind of an afterthought to the overall party. So if you're curious about whether or not a woman is promiscuous, go to her Instagram, give it a scroll. If you see a bunch of posts of her going to music festivals and raves, there's a good chance that you're dealing with a promiscuous woman. And I should say that the same goes for women that are taking a lot of girls' trips to party cities like Miami, Nashville, and Las Vegas. Okay, number four sign is when a woman swears a lot, specifically when she uses sexual swear words. So, when a woman uses profane language to describe sexual body parts or sexual desires or acts, that is a really good sign that she is promiscuous, especially if she's doing this in the open. And because I don't want to say them and get banned, I'm talking about things like this, and like this. Look, good girls just don't use this kind of language. And I know a lot of us swear, but it takes a certain type of woman to use sexually suggestive language in regular conversation. Okay, number five is if she likes to hang out with other women that are confirmed to be promiscuous. It's like the old saying, birds of a feather flock together. If her friends like to sleep around, there's a good chance that she does too. Now, I should say that I have met some girls that are the exception to this. Like maybe all the girls in the friend group like to go out and drink and fool around, but then you'll have like the one girl that is a serial dater, like she's always in a relationship, always has a boyfriend. So, generally this is a good rule of thumb, but it doesn't always apply. Okay, number six is excess alcohol and drug consumption. Similar to the smoking studies I mentioned earlier, studies have also found that alcohol and recreational drug consumption are associated with riskier sexual behavior. But almost all of us drink, right? So what are we talking about? Well, we're not talking about 2 or 3 glasses of wine with the girls on girls' night. We're talking about those girls that you know for a fact every Friday, Saturday, they're going out, they're getting hammered, and sometimes, if not all the time, they're using recreational drugs. that's a great sign that a woman is promiscuous. Okay, the number 7 sign that a woman is promiscuous is if she's using sexual innuendo in casual conversation. So when a woman uses words with sexual implication, I'm talking about words like bigger, harder, wetter, squirt, any of those. It could also be phrases like pearl necklace or big dick energy. The bottom line is, good girls don't talk like that, so if you have a girl using that kind of language in front of you, chances are she's promiscuous. Okay, number 8 is when women are going to the bars and clubs every single weekend. And I mean, this one's fairly obvious, right? Like, people aren't going to the bars and clubs just to make friends. They're going to meet people of the opposite sex, usually coupled with other things we've already mentioned on this list, like drinking and smoking and recreational drug use. Sure, maybe some people meet their life partner at the bar, but I feel like that's the exception, not the norm, which means everybody else is just hooking up. Okay, number 9 is when women are forward with their compliments. So look, most of the time when women are flirting, they're gonna find a way to do it in a subtle way. They're not gonna say the quiet part out loud. But promiscuous women will often come out and say the thing. They'll say you have beautiful eyes, that you're so tall, that you're handsome, that you have nice muscles, whatever it is. They're just a lot more forward than normal. So if a woman is talking to you in this way, there's a good chance that she is promiscuous. And finally, number 10, and hopefully the most obvious sign, is if a woman is talking about sex in front of you. And I'm talking about sexual desires, sexual preferences, sexual fantasies, anything along those lines. 99% of the time, a good girl is just not going to talk to a man about those things unless they're already engaged in some type of physical relationship, unless they already built up that rapport. So if you're talking to a girl at a bar, if you're talking to a girl at work, or a new chick that you met in your social circle, and she's talking about these kinds of things in front of you, ding, 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 there is a very good chance that that girl is promiscuous. All right, guys, so that covers my top 10, but there's one more thing that you might not have thought about that's a good sign a woman is promiscuous, and that's if she works in the service industry and hospitality industry. Now, hear me out on this. I worked in the hospitality industry for like 12 years, and I worked with almost all women in every job I had, and I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I've heard girls talk about all of the nasty stuff they've done, the weekends out, the guys they've dated, the breakups, the cheating, all of it. And I'm telling you right now, women in hospitality and in the service industry are some of the most promiscuous women on the planet. But there's a little problem. It's that guys, when they figure this out, when they know that, they think that they can just put themselves out there and skip all the game and all the rest, and they end up getting rejected. So let me give you a little tip. If you want to get in with a girl that works at a bar or a restaurant, become a regular. Don't go in there and just swing for the fences. Don't come in hot. Don't try to ask her out immediately. Don't even try to flirt or hit on girls the first few times you go into the bar or the restaurant. Only after a certain amount of time, then you can start to kind of open up, start to flirt a little, and this works all the time, guys. I've seen it literally hundreds of times. Guys come in, they're a regular after so many times of actually talking to this girl without any pressure. All of a sudden they exchange numbers, they're having a beer at the bar after work, bada bing, bada boom. So that's my little tip for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found value in this content. If you did, please drop a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop a like, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.